But it's interesting that many times, how many of you felt that your mind does not seem to understand something, but your heart feels so happy just listening to it? So today, before we begin, I would like you to tell me this. I'll repeat it again. How many times has it happened to you that sometimes your mind could not really understand or comprehend what was said, but suddenly your heart, something happens to your heart, something happens in the level of emotions, and you feel touched. Now, what would you say? Did you understand it? Perfect. So let's get into the beautiful story, the story of Rama. And that is, to begin with, I would say, please understand that maturity has no age. And that is what Rama is hardly, 14 or 16 years old. This whole story that you heard, 14 or 16, I think, probably 15. Now, all of this that you heard, all the happenings that was discussed, the story is he's a teenager and he's a prince of a beautiful, a mighty kingdom, the biggest kingdom in India, Ayodhya. Yes. And imagine he's the oldest prince. That means he's the next one for coronation. He would be the next king. And all of a sudden, Rama's father, Dashratha, gets worried about him. Okay? He gets worried, just like sometimes your parents got worried about you. So Dashratha, the king, gets worried about his oldest son, Rama, and he sees, wow, that. And their master, the master or the the guru of Dashratha, it's Vishwamitra, correct? And he goes and discusses with Vishwamitra, Rishi Vishwamitra, the master Vishwamitra, that master Gurudev, this is what is happening to my son. He seems to have, he's very quiet. He's very pensive. He's usually sitting with himself and he's deep in thoughts. He doesn't eat too much. He's not interested in anything. He's not interested in anything. Look, what does... So the king Dashratha goes to the master, his guru. And with all his love, he's discussing that, Gurudev, this is going to be our next king. I'm kind of worried about him. And Vishwamitra listens to the king. And of course, because he's the royal guru, he's the guru of the kings. And he says, let me meet him. Let me meet Rama. So let's look at this step by step. The moment Vishwamitra meets Rama, instead of getting worried, Vishwamitra smiles. Okay? So what are the signs? What are the signs he's talking about? That I'm not nothing interests me. What is the first thing he says? Show me your finger. Come on. I don't want you to write anything, guys. Okay? I just need your eyes here. Nancy? So today, let's drop all the books, pens, just open our hearts up and just listen. So whatever gets written in your heart is more important than what you write on the pages. Okay, now show me your finger, one finger. All of you. I can see you all. Just one finger, sweethearts. That's it. Perfect. That's it. So what is the first sign? He says, I've lost interest in anything. Okay? Then he says, nothing means to me. Nothing. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. I have lost interest in women, food. Everything appears boring. I've lost interest in the kingdom or the kingly affairs, everyday things. And I don't know, it's life appears meaningless. Now, if we were talking in today's context, if it was your son talking, they would have probably taken him to a psychiatrist and put him on antidepressant drugs. You see that? I need you to understand what's. But here the master smiles and he says, no, he's not depressed. That is what I call maturity. Okay, so please understand. What we many times in our life understand in today's context as depression or lack of. Have you ever lack of interest in anything in life? Have you ever thought what it might be? Is it something bad? Is it something unnatural? You know, I don't know if you've ever heard Gurudev many times, in one of his knowledge, he says, blessed are the bored. Blessed are the bored. So today's question, the first question which I would ask, like each one of you in this Swadhyaya session, is to ask yourself, are you bored? Are you bored? Is it bad being bored? Is boredom something wrong? Or does boredom really denote some amount of intelligence? Can cows get bored? Or can donkeys get bored? They can continue doing the same thing all their life. So, what is the first thing? That if somebody is getting bored, what is bored? Doing the same thing again and again and again. It could be your emotions, it could be your thought patterns, it could be your lifestyle, or it could be anything that you do. It's a repetitive process. When something inside you says, Chasta, Jadeo, it simply denotes, wow, there should be some amount of intelligence there, that this person is alive. And he says, wow, I'm done with this repetitive thing. All right, that's the first thing. So here, the master is not saying that this guy there's something wrong with him. He said, wow, it's good. He's intelligent. And then Rama starts to speak. Now, if you hear that 15-year-old boy, a teenager, speak about his idea, he's questioning happiness, the idea of human happiness, I would say that is revolutionary for me. A child born in today's age could have been put into a anti-depression, but that same child comes out with one of the most revolutionary thoughts, where he's sitting and asking the master that, I don't know what is happiness. What is the idea of happiness? So another question to you guys today. What is your idea of happiness, my dear friends? And this is what Yoga Vasishtha for me is all about. The idea of human happiness. And blessed are the ones who have the strength to question the very concepts that we carry in the society today. It takes strength and intelligence both. Because when you start questioning the very concepts you grew up with, it shakes you. And it needs strength, because we try to save our concepts, our ideas very strongly. What is your identity, my dear friends? What is your identity? Your identity, you think, is the ideas each one of you carry. And you, each one of us humans, we protect our ideas very strongly. So if a human starts questioning the very basis of his identity, what is your identity? Your identity or my identity is the set of ideas I carry. Okay, let's go very slow. What's your identity, each one of you? Who do you call you? You call you because you are a set of ideas, a specific likes, dislikes, things that you love, etc., etc. And all these ideas about yourself you have protected all your life. So where does Swadhyaya begin? Swadhyaya is not creating more ideas and just protecting them. Swadhyaya is actually having the strength to question. And what is the biggest basis? What is the basis of each one of you? What are we living for? Aren't all of us living for happiness? Isn't everything that we do or whatever we have done until now, hasn't it actually been just for happiness? Now tell me, if everything that we have done until now, all our life, or every human being, we do it for happiness. And after doing everything that we have done, if still we are not happy, and we never question our ideas of happiness, then where are we? Come on, come on, come on. Hi, Ale. What did your mama tell you about happiness? Right? Come on, let's think about it. Where did the ideas come from? Hi, Sole, Sophie. Say, for example, a strong idea that, wow, this is what we need to be happy. And my mama said, wow, you need to have a partner to be happy. Okay, that has gone so strongly inside in the subconscious mind. We need to have a family to be happy. Perfect. Very good. Did you ever ask your mama who has a family, Mama, you have me and you have the whole family. How come you don't look so happy? Because we never question. That is why, because we never had the strength to question. That is why we are all humanity is in a loop. So Yoga Vasishtha begins, the basis of Yoga Vasishtha is simply to begin or having the strength. What does he say? What does he start with, this 15-year-old boy? He starts with the whole idea of happiness the society carries. Isn't that amazing? And if this is not revolutionary, what is revolutionary enough for you guys? Yes. Question yourself. Instead of sitting there in a loop, infinite loop of just being frustrated and sad, what is he encouraging? The masters are encouraging, open, ask yourself, what do I want? What is happiness for me? I already have this, everything in my life. If I'm not happy, why am I not happy? What do I want? That questioning of yourself is very important. It is the beginning of something which opens up within you. It opens, that questioning is the strength. That is the strength which will make you a sadhak or make you somebody who's looking for it. So today, another learning is to be able to drop off the fears. To be able to drop off the fears because of which we are never able to question our own ideas. Only the brave, only the ones who are strong have the strength to question. You understand me exactly? Only this, because it does take strength to question yourself. So Yoga Vasishtha, or this whole knowledge, is about questioning. They're saying just be true to yourself. What do I want? At least begin asking yourself, what do I want? What is happiness for me? You see, the amazing bit, all these rishis are not giving you answers. They are putting you on fire. They're saying, wake up. The only way to be happy is to wake up. The only way to be happy is to come into the present. The only way to break away from your loop of blame, self-blame, and frustration and expectation is to wake up. So what does this young boy Rama, what does he say? Okay, let's read a bit. And to me, this is where Yoga Vasishtha starts and ends. Because what the Rishi says later on is, he gives a darshan of the reality, which cannot be, which is beyond comprehension. That's more like information. But let's begin here. So, Kande, what was that little chapter, or someone who was reading it?
Ready to read it, yeah?
Yes, please. Go ahead. Just that. When he's questioning the reality of happiness. Yeah.
Rama said, Holy Sir, I shall duly answer your question. I grew happily in my father's abode. I was instructed by worthy teachers. Recently, I went on a...
Pause. Are you all getting the translation? Please raise your hands if you're getting the translation. Claro. Very good. Okay. So now, Rama is speaking to his master Vishwamitra, right, Mika? Or already Vasishtha?
Vishwamitra and Valmiki. Man.
Yeah. So imagine. So Vishwamitra, it's like you going to the master and speaking, right? And the young 15-year-old boy starts to speak that I've been blessed with everything in my life. So let's look at it. He's young and he's not complaining. He's just saying that I'm grateful that I've been blessed with everything in my life, including the right teachers. Yeah. Yes, please, Mika.
Recently, I went on a pilgrimage. During this period, a trend of thoughts has taken hold of me, robbing me of all hope in this world. My heart begins to question, what do people call happiness, and can it be had in the ever-changing objects of this world? All beings in this world take birth but to die, and they die to be born. I do not perceive any meaning in all these transient phenomena which are the roots of suffering and sin. And related beings come together and the mind conjures up a relationship between them. Everything...
Hang on. How many of your parents here? How many of you have children? So now remember, it's a 15-year-old boy talking this. So what does he say? He says, wow, that this transient phenomena of life, we just come into the planet, one day we leave this planet. And what a joke this happiness is all about. Yeah, go ahead.
Everything in this world is dependent upon the mind, upon one's mental attitude. On examination, the mind itself appears to be unreal, but we are bewitched by it. We seem to be running after a mirage in the desert to slake our thirst.
Say that in Espanol now, last two sentences, okay?
Examinando, nuestra mente también aparece ser irreal, pero estamos embrujados por la misma. Parece que corremos a través de una ilusión en el desierto para saciar nuestra sed.
That's it. Next one, go ahead.
Sir, surely we are not bond slaves sold to a master, yet we live a life of slavery without any freedom whatever. Ignorant of the truth, we have been in...
Say that in Espanol.
Ok. Señor, seguramente no somos esclavos que hemos sido vendidos a un amo. Sin embargo, vivimos una vida de miseria, sin ninguna verdadera libertad.
I want you all now to repeat what he's saying. Okay? Now, this is the beauty. This is how truth is expounded. Look at the grasp of a 15-year-old boy who's yet to be given knowledge, but it's just his feeling. So say that in Espanol. Just repeat. Yes, Mika. And then everybody repeat it.
Señor, seguro que no somos esclavos vendidos a un amo.
All of you say that?
Seguro que no somos esclavos vendidos a un amo. Sin embargo, Vivimos una vida de miseria, una vida de esclavitud, perdón. Sin embargo, vivimos una vida de esclavitud.
All of you say that together.
Vivimos una vida de esclavitud.
Sin ninguna verdadera libertad.
Sin ninguna verdadera libertad.
Right. Do you have any doubts on what he's saying right now? Come on. It's not about just sitting there. I'm saying, do you have any doubts about what this 15-year-old boy is saying right now? What is slavery? In a moment, we could simply sit down and cry. In a moment, we could be sitting and just being scared of what's going to happen tomorrow. In a moment, anything could be happening. And imagine. And he's questioning the very existence of mind. And again, what rules all of us? Okay, next one.
Ignorant of the truth, we have been aimlessly wandering in this forest called the world. What comes into being grows and dies.
But that is a beautiful mantra. Ignorant of the truth. We keep wondering in this world, in this life. Say that in Espanol.
Ignorantes de la verdad, caminamos sin una dirección en este bosque, en este denso bosque llamado el mundo. Ignorantes de la verdad, caminamos sin dirección en este denso bosque llamado el mundo.
Now, instead of going ahead and having any concepts, how true is it for you, each one of you here, that it is our ignorance, or it's everybody's ignorance, which leads to happiness or unhappiness? How many of you feel that all your happiness and unhappiness is in your state of mind or your attitude, how you see things? How many of you feel that? Come on. And that is why instead of moving ahead, I will say, stop back. So Yoga Vasishtha is not about just listening. No, it's about questioning. Sit down. And this is where we come to this understanding that if I'm not happy, it's because of my ignorance. How long have we blamed the situations or the lack of things in our life for our unhappiness? But the moment we come to this understanding in life that it is my ignorance here, which leads to my frustration and unhappiness. And this is knowledge. This is awakening. How many of you are following me? I need you to raise your hands. So instead of moving ahead, how many of you would like to bear the strength to question the concepts of happiness that we carry? Would you like to do that? How many of you would like to do that? Muy bien. That's important, please. So we encourage each one of you. It's not about going ahead. No. Just sit down and ask yourself, what do I want? I thought that I always wanted a partner. I thought that I always wanted a child. I thought that I always wanted some sort of a security in my life. Can you ask yourself right now that even after having a job, did you feel secure? Was your security answered? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Probe yourself. Did having enough money in your bank account give you security? Did you start feeling secure in your heart? Did having a partner by your side make you feel more complete? For how long? Come on. Or all these things that I've been hankering for, does it complete me really? What do I want? Let's start. Do not be scared to ask yourself this. And this is what this knowledge is meant to do. Having the strength to ask yourself, I think this is it. I wouldn't even move ahead. In fact, in the truth of the matter, I've never moved ahead of this. The Senior Mika was telling me, Bhaiya, you always talk. I said, man, there's nothing else. There's nothing else, my dear ones. From this very chapter, at least have the strength, or pray for the strength to question the very ideas of truth and reality we carry. It's not about becoming sad. It's about just waking up. It's just about not basing your happiness on anything. Do you think it is possible? Do you think, is it possible not to depend on anything? Do you think, is it possible that your state of mind stays the same regardless of what you have and what you don't? And this is what the masters tell us that it is. So start. So today I welcome each one of you, and I would like to appreciate that you have taken the strength to step into this knowledge. It's not about just reading it out and just finishing the book and just keep, hey, I've read it. I've read Yoga Vasishtha 10 times. No. Even the first word, if you are aware, even one word could simply wake you up, and full stop. For the last 20 years, have not been able to go ahead of the first chapter, and I cannot. The truth is, I cannot. I cannot never go beyond Rama speaking about the idea of happiness. This is it. It's full stop for me. So that's it. I pray each one of us has the strength. If happiness matters so much to you, let the nature, God, give you strength to question it. That is what truth means. That is what Yoga Vasishtha is all about. So keep questioning yourself, keep yourself alive. Don't be scared, no fears. There's nothing to lose. Remember, there's nothing to lose. And whatever the masters say, whatever can be lost is worth losing. Whatever can be lost is worth losing. Lose it. But whatever cannot be lost, cannot be lost. So your inner happiness, your inner beauty cannot be lost. The only thing worth losing is the garbage ideas that we carry about everything, and we are stuck and we live and die in those ideas. Okay, so lots of love to you, and we see you soon. And continue. And do not think that you're depressed. Do not think you're sad. Sadness is something else. Do not blame yourself. Boredom is a sign of intelligence. Question. Meditate. Do your Kriya. And share this happiness wherever you can. Okay, lots of love to you guys. I think whenever we meet next, we'll be probably still in the same chapter because nothing else matters more. Let's sing a bit before we all leave. Come, let's sing. Amfe?
Yeah.
Let's sing with all our heart. Just a moment, Amfe. And also, I would today in the Vedic charts, in the Vedic astrology, in the Vedic, it's a very auspicious day today. Yes, it's called Basanta Panchami. It's an auspicious day. It's one of the most auspicious days to begin anything, to start something. And yes, I'm happy that for many of you, getting into this knowledge of the self, there's nothing more auspicious than this. So, happy Basanta Panchami to you all. Okay, yes.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai 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 Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai 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 Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai 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 Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram. Jaya Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Shri Ram. Jaya Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram.
Love to you. See you soon. You can sing one more bhajan, all of you, and I'll see you soon sometimes. Take care.
Antes de cantar el último vayan con Juanfe, queremos invitarlos a todos a los cursos parte 2, curso de silencio que vamos a estar teniendo presencial y online en esta fecha especial de Shivaratri. Saben que Shivaratri es la noche de Shiva, es un momento muy auspicioso para poder meditar, para poder crear y destruir todo lo que queramos. Así que si estás en la TAM, te podés sumar al online con Claudio y Sonji, que va a ser del 26 al 1 de marzo. Si estás en Buenos Aires, puedes sumarte al presencial con Somi y Bea del 26 al 1 de marzo. Y si estás en Brasil, vamos a tener presencial y online del 25 al 1 de marzo. Si quieren más info, pueden dejar su número de teléfono ahí y nos contactamos. Que tengan un lindo día y cantemos el último vayan juntos.
Shivaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha, Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya, Iriya Shankara Namah Shivaya, Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya, Iriya Shankara Namah Shivaya, Arunachala Shiva Namah Shivaya, Arunachala Shiva Namah Shivaya, Arunachala Shiva Namah Shivaya, Arunachala Shiva Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om.